Welcome to episode 49, season 2 of the SNLF podcast, sponsored by New Style Apparel. Not quite a full house this evening. Apparently, I kept Gaz out too long last night, as you'll find out a little bit later in the show. So he's declined the invitation to join us this evening. But Mike survived Guernsey. He was allowed back into the country as well, which we were slightly surprised at. But and he made another game last night, which is highly irregular. How are you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. Looking forward to this. Looking forward to speaking to Lawrence and Robin here. Wonderful weekend. Loads to tell about. One of the most incredible away days I've had with going to Guernsey with Horsham YM. And then, as you said, making the Shoreham Seaford game last night. So, yeah, and I am allowed back in the country, which is very good for my wife. So, yes, I'm here.
You sure about that?
Apparently she was chaperoned last night as well, but we'll get to that in a bit later as well. Chris is here as well, the Sussex stat man. How are you, my good man?
I'm good. Glad to be back. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Got a bit toothache at the moment, so a little bit suffering at the moment. Got no alcohol for the next 5 days, which is not great with the weekend coming up, but it is what it is, isn't it? And as
drink it for you.
Yeah, I'm sure plenty of people will this weekend as well. As Mike alluded to just now in his intro cameo bit, special guest this evening, and as many of you are aware, this weekend is the Sussex or the Southern Combination ground hop weekend of 6 games over 3 days. As we did last year, we've got again this evening. So delighted to have Lawrence Reed and Robin Marshall from, I suppose it's Ground Hop UK, is it?
Yes, we are. By the way, we are married. It's Robin and Lawrence Reed.
That's just the email that confused me, isn't it? As simple as that.
We do admit to each other sometimes.
Great to have you guys on again. Obviously, this weekend, slightly later than last year. My Facebook memory is telling me that I was at games, for the weekend prior and that. But 6 good games we've got coming up again, and obviously people that have been to them over the last couple of years and obviously around the country as well will know that sides that were the visiting sides last year are hosting this year. So we'll kick off on Friday evening at Alfold, which will be your guys' first game to go to. And that, what are you expecting this year? Anything different? Have you seen stuff over the other hops this year that you thought, or hope we get a little bit of that down here as well?
To be honest, I genuinely don't think you could do an awful lot better than you did last year. If it would be churlish of me in the extreme to try and pick holes in it, because it was one of the best hops I've been involved with. So we've had hops in the United Counties, the West Lancs, the West Wales Premier, and the Skeffel. The one that I would flag up as being amazing was West Lancs. We were there all over August Bank Holiday.
Their first hop.
That was their first ever hop, and it was as good as yours was last year. But when you sort of drill down, what are you looking for? You want clubs to host to tick the boxes in terms of things that you have to happen, like, parking for the coach, a program, badges, food, catering, blah, blah, blah. But once you've achieved those red lines, and I would argue any step 5 or 6 clubs should be able to do those, it's then when you look at that little bit extra, where you add the value. And, be it if you do something interesting on the catering or, something that makes you endear you to the club, endear you. We saw it in spades at places like Rothie last year, but then again, we saw it at Ulverston in the West Lancs, and it's almost an X factor. It's difficult to explain what it is, but it's when you walk in and there's somebody there to welcome you, or maybe somebody to meet the coach, and immediately you think, do you know what? I like these people.
From my point of view, I attended the meeting with the clubs to sort of go over what their plans are. And it all sounds very good. Catering, and there's a few interesting bits and pieces on the raffles. I think what you said about, the away teams from the previous year hosting the following year, I think is a really good idea, because they see what their hosts do. and what the rewards are from that as well. So, yeah, I think we're in for another very good weekend, and just hope the weather is good for it as well, because that obviously does affect it a lot.
Yeah, we certainly did a couple of years ago. Had a little bit of bad weather, didn't we? At Wycombe and Billingshurst. Obviously, last year was really good. I think with some really nice sunny weather as well. Is it quite easy to get the clubs to buy into it? Especially, I mean, Sussex is still relatively new. I think this is the third hop we're doing. As you say, the West Lancs had their first, and that, you know, we found going to Kent, and no disrespect to some of the clubs up there that have been involved in the past, but it just seemed a little bit kind of tired as they were getting to the end of it. But it's still quite a new kind of venture, isn't it, for down here?
Not really. We had 4 or 5 years of the Western League, and that was 2013 something. No, 2010, 2015 I think was the first one. So it's, you know, I wouldn't say it's completely new. I mean, the Hellenic ran one right the way back in 2005, something like that. You know, so there is history.
I think the majority of the clubs do buy into it. You will get the odd one that just aren't sure. And
I don't want to talk too much about Skeffel because this is your hop and it's you guys I want to talk about. But yeah, the biggest issue you tend to get when it's the last hop is you either get clubs who have been dropped in from in this case, your part of the world, the Isthmian, or they're the ones who've said no, and then, well, it's your last chance. Oh, go on then. And they do it a bit half-hearted. Yeah. And there was definitely evidence of that there. You know, it's, in the end,
they would have made money.
They made money.
The main thing, so
they made, you know, that's the main thing, is they did well, they just should have done better. And you start comparing, say, some of those clubs, and I'll make one very honourable exception, and that was Croydon, who I thought were excellent. But you compare what went on at, say, one or two of theirs and what went on at, say, at Roffey or at East Preston last year, and you think this is just a different ball game altogether. And that's got nothing to do with the organisers. It's got nothing to do with the league. It's just a club getting it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And obviously, we're a little bit unique as well because we drop a couple of Step 7 games in, as well as not just 5 and 6, which obviously a lot of the leagues can't do as well. So, you know, for you guys as well that go around ground hopping, visiting all the different grounds and that, it's great for you to be able to get that far down into the pyramid as part of this weekend, which you probably haven't got the chance to do around the country.
We did used to with the United Counties. We used to drop into the Peterborough district because they shared administration, which was quite handy. There's another one I think that we did as well. That's going to annoy me now. Yeah, also in Wales, when we used to do things like the South Wales Alliance, they have 3 divisions of that. It's unusual. I wouldn't say it's unheard of.
It's really good to have,
but it doesn't half help. It'll be my only new tick of the weekend, by the way, is Southwater. So I'm pleased to have them.
Yeah, it'd be really good to have the variety there.
Yeah, you don't want everything to look the same as well. I like the idea of having, take last year, who was Crowborough, who were an Isthmian League club in waiting. They played Hassett, who won the league.
Yeah.
And, you know, they made it look easy because they had the facilities, the staff and the volunteers to do it really well. But the previous game was at Jarvis Brook, who at the time had a couple of little stands, were railed off and not an awful lot more. Did a fantastic job with a hell of a lot of gazebos and a lot of imagination. I like having that variety.
Yeah, it certainly helps, doesn't it? Mike?
How you doing, guys? Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you, mate.
I've got a few questions for you. For people that don't know about the hop, okay, can you tell us what the goals are of the hop?
Okay, gigantic compromise. If you're a ground hopper, from your perspective, what we're offering you is 6 new ticks in a weekend, when normally you get 1. If you're a league, what we're offering you is, by staggering the kickoffs and letting us run the event for you, we're helping your clubs raise money and we're giving you and your sponsors maximum publicity. From the perspective of the clubs, by putting yourself out, what we're doing is we bring rent-a-crowd, basically, and by understanding ground hoppers, you know, the things they like, the things they must have, then we help to make you turn this into a gigantic fundraiser.
Lawrence, Lawrence, can you tell them what they must have, just so the listeners can understand?
Red lines are: one, a program, printed, not online; two, team lineups, accurate, pinned up 20 minutes before kickoff; three, a badge; four, somewhere to park the coach. Sorry. Five, what's the word I'm looking for here? We have to agree as price to get in advance, because we sell an advance ticket. Now, the point behind the advance ticket is to allow the clubs to have some steer as to how many is going to turn up. So if the big red line for me is, if you like, an open line of communication, so we know what it's going to cost to get in and what we're going to find when we get there.
Fantastic. And two more questions. Name me the 3 best clubs you've been to on a Sussex hop down here.
Roffey.
Second would be Roffey. Third would be Roffey.
No,
East Preston were fantastic. I'll tell you who I liked, and I will always regret slightly the weather, and that was Billingshurst.
Yeah.
That, what was it? Sausage cheese and sausage pie was absolutely delicious. Maybe the weather worked out for them, because it was hammering it down with rain, and it was plenty of doubt whether the game was going to take place. People sat in the clubhouse, and this waft of sausages came over, and people were buying it by the plate load. So, yeah, I mean, somebody now will point out that, you know, I think an honourable mention for Jarvis Brook as well. They didn't have a lot to work with, but never have I seen so many camp stoves, gazebos and stuff. And it was like, as I said earlier, they had that little, for want of a better word, charm. So a 3.
I think that brings me into my final question about the food. Name me the 3 best foods you've had.
What? In Sussex or generally?
Sussex, in the Sussex hop.
That Korean barbecue was probably the best.
Oh, the Korean barbecue was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was East Preston, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's East Preston, because with the greatest will in the world, I've been doing this since about 2008. I joined Ground Hop UK about 5 years in. And it takes a lot to blow my mind. East Preston did. That was incredible. Second, Roffey?
With Roffey, it was a case of what didn't they do food-wise?
Yeah. It was...
Yeah. They had so many options, and then they have cakes. Cakes, we always say, do cakes
if you can sell beer and cake, you won't get too far.
Yeah, that's such a cheap option to do cakes and then sell them on. You just.
But yeah, I mean, to give you an idea how good they were, there's a German guy. If he's around this weekend, he's in the country. Now, Jens is the ground hopper that you measure your stats against. Jens is on about 8,800 grams.
Wow, 8,000 was that?
Yeah.
Does he have a life outside of ground hop?
No.
No, he likes drinking beer. He's German.
I think you have to introduce him.
We'll hook you up.
Yeah, he's quite the character, which is unlike one or two of them, you know, who are completely one-eyed. Jens was at Roffey looking at his pulled pork and looking at his 15 types of beer that were on sale courtesy of the local brewery, and you could see you could see in his own very Germanic way was going, I have no idea how to react to this. Who else did we have? I'm thinking.
I need one more from you. I need one more.
Got to be that pie at Billingshurst. That was absolutely fantastic and completely unexpected. Frankly, I was cold, wet, and a bit, let's just go home. And then they turned up. Last game, didn't expect it to be on because Wick had been abandoned. And I remember walking into that clubhouse and seeing, loads of these ground hoppers. Right, I'm all over that.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, look, I hope you have a great time, and everyone has a great time. Every year it seems to be a great event that gets bigger and bigger. So
it's good atmosphere. Yeah. Robin's right on that one.
And we look forward to hearing the stories from everyone that goes. So cheers, guys.
Yeah, look out for Jens.
Yeah,
Jens. We'll look you up. Yeah.
Nice to meet you both. Nice to meet you both. You all right?
Hiya, you're right there.
Come on, give me some stats. Give me some hop stats.
Well, this is what I was going to do, actually. I was going to try and put together a little stat pack, although I don't do the step 7 stuff, so that might go a bit awry. But you've got a cracking game on Sunday, top of the table clash, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What's that, the Godalming game?
Yeah. First against second. Or second's host
I'm
first.
still getting my head around them being in Sussex, by the way.
We have a lot of anomalies.
What? We've been selling it as the Sussex hop.
Yeah.
And we had somebody on Twitter complain bitterly that 40% of the games aren't actually in Sussex, mate. I'm too polite to say get a life, fella, but get a life.
We're very welcoming. We're all encompassing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we have this nice guy from Glasgow joining your league next year.
It would surprise me.
We say that Mike's just got back off a flight from a game, so it can happen.
We're well into doing that, believe me.
What's been your highlight? I mean, not necessarily Sussex, although feel free to give us an example from Sussex. But of all the hops you've done, like what's been the most sort of unique thing you've come across?
For me, and this is when I first met Lawrence and I started doing the ground hops. It's the clubs and the leagues that literally have nothing but a field, and they get it sometimes. Well, actually, a lot of the time, more than your step 4, step 5, step 6 clubs, and they just completely blow you away. They put all the stops out, and they just make a bucket load of money, and are just normally charming. That's where I find it most rewarding, is those clubs that literally have nothing. I mean, one highlight for me was somewhere in Wales quite a few years back now. We got let down, I think, quite last minute, didn't we, by a team. And Chris Berazay, Groundhop UK, found a team called Garforth. Is that what they called? Garth Vader.
Yes, the village called Garth. And so they used Vader as their suffix.
So
we've been laughing alongside them ever since.
We got in touch with them quite last minute and said, "Look, can we just come to you? They're a Sunday League team," and they were like, "Yeah, great. And would you be able to do a program?" And well, it turns out the guy who runs the club is like a graphic designer or something. So we did a fantastic program, and obviously they didn't charge or anything. It wasn't like an official hop game because it was literally just the last minute, we'll come along and watch you. But we did a raffle, and it made like £100, and we gave it to them, and they said, "You've just saved us," because we didn't have enough money to pay referees they were, and how they're still going. And that, to me, is the sort of thing why we do these events. For me, that's what I get out of it.
I'll give you one, and sadly it's another Welsh one. Many years ago, we did a game in the Cardiganshire League, or the Ceredigion, and this is very Welsh Wales. So there was one place we went to, for example, where we had to. It was in one of these outward bound centres that we all got sent to as kids. Except this one, you had to speak Welsh. I mean, our coach driver from Pontypridd described it as Hitler Youth, but we turned up there and we had to actually negotiate to talk to them in English because I don't speak enough Welsh to communicate. And we did the crowd count, and we came up to the young lady who was flogging, bacon rolls or something, and so we said, "Oh, we got 130 here." And she went, "Oh, that's good." He said, "How many do you get there?" And she sort of sucked her teeth and went, "Well, on a good day, it's just my family and me."
Wow.
And it was like, okay. But yeah, that was, what was the name of them? Oh, Cranog. That was it. It sounds so Welsh. It's on the coast. Literally, if they kick the ball over the bar at one end, it's in the sea. It's like that. Brilliant.
As a whole, I love doing these events because I'm just loving watching how popular non-league football is now.
Yeah. COVID destroyed so much, but the one thing it did is I think it taught some people, hopefully many, what really matters. And being able to rock up at a ground, with your mates, have a beer, have a bovril, whatever, and watch a game, and it not cost you, I was reading somewhere, what was it that Coventry City are charging away fans 45 quid a ticket or something?
Yeah, I think it was kids £35 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like, get real, folks.
35.
Yeah, I know. And I've been there. It ain't that great. You can't even get the train there.
Yeah, just seeing the boom that non-league football has
and it has. People have learning very quickly that there's a lot to be said. Yeah, you're not going to see the next Ronaldo or something there, but what you'll see is good, honest football. And the great joy of football to me, is the way I explain it to people, is it doesn't matter what level it is, providing the two sides are well matched, it's entertaining. And what you'll see this weekend is, looking at this, we wrote the fixtures down. You're right. Godalming versus Worthing United will be an absolute humdinger of a game.
It'll be a hell of a game, that one.
Yeah. I'm also looking at it from the position of, okay, where do we go next year? I'll tell you now, the Hoppers will walk into Worthing's ground behind the Sainsbury's there.
Yeah.
And they'll look at that, and then they'll see the garden, the memorial garden for the 2 players that died in the Shoreham Air disaster, and that will drag them straight back down to earth. And they go, actually, that's a club absolutely understands who they are and where they fit in the scheme of things. It's quite a sobering place to visit, and then you learn a little bit more. It really is quite a place, Worthing United.
Yeah, sure is.
A fitting end. Well, it should be a fitting end to the hop.
Yeah, should be. I'm also, on a more silly note, looking forward to AFC Varndinians, because, of course, it's at the Withdean. Yep. Last time I was there, Brighton and Hove Albion won League 2 there.
Oh, wow.
Some bloke called Zamora got a hat-trick.
Bobby.
Yes, they beat Darlington, I think, 3-1. And I had to pretend to be from the northeast to get in the Darlington end, because the home end had sold out. Why I man?
I heard your attempt at accents as well. Gosh.
I don't know, me love her. I'm quite good at Brazil.
There you go. Right, so the fixtures for the weekend, starting on Friday in Division 2, it's Alfold against Russington at 7:45. Then on Saturday, it's AFC Vardinians against Peacehaven and Telscombe at 10:45 in the Premier Division. Then along to Southwater as they host Ferrin at 2 p.m. back in Division 2, before heading to Lancing as they host New Haven at 5:45 p.m. in the Premier Division. And on Sunday, Loxwood host Arundel at 11 o'clock, and then it's all roads to Godalming, as we said, as they host Worthing United at 2:30. Although Billingshurst, if they win on Saturday, will go top of the table above those two. So depending on Billingshurst's result on Saturday, would depend on whether it is first against second or second against third.
And no one say anything bad about Billingshurst, because they were lovely.
No,
I'm still in touch with them, and they're still fantastic.
They are. Food, I know what the options are. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody. But having found out last night when I was at New Haven exactly what it is, you guys will love what's going to be on offer at all these games this weekend. So take your money with you to grab some food. Obviously, we'll expect pin badges. We'll expect programs. I was not going to mention too much of it, but Lancing let the cat out the bag during the week. But I've got a column in their program this week, which is an double spread on the ground hop itself. I was just going to say you're going to have to go and buy a program and find out which one it is, but as they bought it, you still need to go and buy one now if you turn up. What else can people expect? Will there be a little bit of other merchandise or other bits and pieces? That
I've heard there's lots of merchandise, and I believe, I can't remember which club it was, but they're doing quite an interesting raffle. Someone is raffling off a signed Brighton shirt. And what was that team I told you about from Belgium? Union?
Union Guillars, from Brussels. It's the ground that's on just about every ground hopper's bucket list, because it's got this beautiful Art Deco facade there.
So there's a signed shirt from them being raffled off, which is quite an unusual one, and I think that will catch.
Yes, it will.
Ground hoppers, because a lot of ground hoppers like.
Most of us won't fit in it, but
they like them. So there's some interesting ideas actually this year.
I tell you, just thinking about Lancing, I'm looking forward to seeing Culver Road again, because that had that stand that was slowly being condemned. And of course, it's now been completely revamped. It's now 3G and it's now the county ground. So I should look forward to seeing that. That's another interesting one. So even if you've done some of these grounds before, I'd be tempted to turn up because a lot's changed. I mean, Alpha, when I went, didn't have floodlights.
Yeah,
I sincerely hope they have now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Right, the weekend I'll be at Lancing on Saturday, and both Loxwood and Godalming on Sunday. Gaz will be at Loxwood also on Sunday morning. He'll be busy on Saturday. East Preston presenting Reigate Priory with their Team of the Month award. Mike, are you getting to any over the weekend?
I'm not at the Hop because I'm at Hayward Heath.
They still got that beautiful wooden stand there.
Yeah,
it's a lovely, it's a lovely authentic stand there. It really is.
Right, in due course, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to go there, please.
Good people at that club as well. Good people.
Yeah, they're very well supported as well. Guys, great to have you on again. And I'll see you over the course of the weekend. Hope it all goes swimmingly. And
not literally.
Not literally, no. We definitely don't want any.
We had an one.
Yeah, I know there's quite a few hoppers that I know that are going. There's already been in the Facebook groups already this week and that. So there's certainly be a few people I know at the grounds as well. So see you guys over the weekend.
Fab. Thank you guys.
Thanks for inviting us. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Meet you. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Nice guys. I hope they have a really great time.
Yeah, so everyone really buys into our one, which is like fantastic. And I know we didn't want to mention too much of the others, but the Kent one did look very tired by the end of the end of the Saturday when I was up there. So us moving into their slot as well will be really helpful next year. But if you've got the time at the weekend and you want an extra game, I'm actually fitting an extra one in on Saturday before Lancing as well, not one of the hop games, just somewhere else. But obviously, you've got 2 games on the Sunday. You've got the Friday night as well. I know Alpha's
the ones we got on the Sunday, Trev?
Sunday, Loxwood Arundel at 11 and Godalming and Worthing United at 2:30.
Both cracking games. I think I might have to make it to one of them as well to make it up.
There we go. Right, let's get started with another 7 days of Sussex football, which just hasn't bored anyone, I don't think, by the looks of things. And as we know, we had a lot of managerial changes last week that we went through. And of course, we had a few more this week, and people waiting until just after we've recorded before they decide to make an announcement of managers leaving or returning. We'll start with Lewis, and it was mentioned last week that maybe Craig Nelson will return after a short stint at Tunbridge, and he did indeed rock up about 24 to 48 hours after we finished recording, which is fantastic and great timing. I don't know what's wrong with some of these clubs. They've got a podcast here they can put it out on. Anyway, he's back. They didn't play Saturday. They played Tuesday evening. We'll come to that in the Isthmian League roundup as well. But slight surprise at someone going back because it don't always work, does it?
That's what they say, don't they? Never go back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know them a lot better than us, Trev. Do you feel that was an emotional appointment for him going back? The club are looking like they're in a bit of trouble at the moment. He's well liked and respected by the fans. Gets a good tune out of them. What are your opinions on that?
The interesting one was I was listening to Gaz was playing his post-match last night on the way back from New Haven. So we were listening to that on the way back through, and he literally doesn't know any of the players that are there. None of them were his from before. So it's literally coming almost blind. He's brought Paris Muirhead back from Carshalton, and I think there'll be 2 or 3 others that he had last year that will come back as well. There's rumours that 2 or 3 will leave Tunbridge and follow him back to Lewis as well after they followed him down that path. I know Craig reasonably well for his time there and where he's been before. And he's got the ability to do it. It's whether we know the state Lewis is in as well. Is he going to get anything extra?
Has he got anything out? If the majority of the players are going to be staying, and maybe there's only going to be 2 or 3 coming in, he doesn't know them. I think that's going to be a bit hard to get a tune out of them to find out what their mentality is like, what kind of system they like playing him.
Sometimes just a different voice in the changing room makes all the difference. They're not a million miles away from the bottom. They're not a million miles away from the top. They're in that little kind of swingy bit in the middle of going one way or the other. It's just whether the off-the-pitch instability will hamper through the rest of the season the on-pitch ability, that if he needs to bring in one or two, is he going to be able to do that? Or has he got to work with what he's got there? He has got some talented players there. They started the season relatively well, and only recently have they started to drop down a bit with players leaving, and then your squad's a bit patched up. So it's an interesting one. For me, I'd never go back. A bit like a relationship, ex-girlfriend's ex-girlfriend for a reason, And
depends how hot she is, really, doesn't it?
Well, maybe, but same for job. You leave it for a reason. And if you go back, you may not be working with the same people that you did before, so then the atmosphere is not quite so good. Tarnishes everything. I can actually go back to when I was 18, and me and one of my mates went out to Italy for a couple of weeks after we finished secondary school with one of our other friends whose parents had moved back out there, and we had a great time for 2 weeks. And then my mate loved it so much. 3 weeks later, he went back for another week or 2 weeks, absolutely hated it. Said it wasn't the same as it was when he went out 2 weeks earlier, because you had those memories, and then because nothing else replicated itself that second time, it then tarnished what it enjoyed the first time around. So, but we see how it plays out. That's the way these things go. A little bit further down the road, down the coast, Hastings dispensed of the services of Lee Carey and brought in Dave Aldendorf before the weekend. And we'll come to Hastings a little bit later as well. I know Dave's been trying to get back in so many ways over the last, probably 6 months or that. So good to see him back in. But again, bit like Pitts at Lewis, bit like guys at East Grinstead, he's got a bit of work to do, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know Dave. We all know what a fantastic coach and guy he is. Tough situation going into there with Hastings. I know there was rumours about him going into quite a few clubs, to be fair, over the last 2-3 weeks, and there has been all season. But personally, I've always had a lot of time for Dave. I really, really hope he does well down there. Massive club in the area. And he's got talented players down there, and he's got a notebook. He's got a notebook of players in around that he can bring in, especially with some of the academy stuff that he deals with. So look, I really, really hope he's a success there, because he deserves it. Because I personally think he's a top lad.
Agree. He's already started bringing people into Hastings. I've already started bringing in some players, and he's obviously had his first couple of games. It sounds like it's starting to turn, in as much as there seems to be a bit more of a buzz about the place. I know there was quite a lot of the fans around there were clamouring for Ryan Light to get the job, but I don't know whether he was even in for it, to be honest. I don't know. I've not spoken to him or anything. They've started bringing players in. They've been close in a couple of games now, which I think is more than you can say about them of recent times. So maybe there's some green shoots there for Hastings. But there's a massive game for them at the weekend away at East Grinstead, which we'll come to. But as these things happen, isn't
it? yeah, don't come much bigger than that, do they? But yeah, good luck to Pitts back at Lewis, and good luck to Dave at Hastings as well. Right, let's get into last week's games, and we'll start in the FA Trophy. Only one game for our sides at the weekend, and Burgess Hill Town went down 4-1 at home to Folkestone Invicta. On Monday, the draw for the second round was made with the National League South clubs coming in, and they were drawn as Horsham hosting Farnham Town, Eastbourne Borough head to Dorking Wanderers, and Worthing head to Tunbridge Angels. Ties to be played on Saturday, the 15th of November. Winners receive $3,750 and the losers receive £1,000. When I put the draw up in the WhatsApp group, Mike, you looked at it and went, "Oh, that looks quite good." And I turned around and I said, "No, it's a bit boring. They play each other in the league games, Dorking and Eastbourne and Tunbridge and Worthing. There's no kind of excitement in that." I've said a little bit for a few years about the FA Cup getting pre-drawn for the Premier League side so they can't draw each other. And is it kind of at that point where in the FA Trophy, these sides aren't, the south and north sides aren't drawn against each other. They play a club from outside of their division, just to try and take that familiarity away.
So what you're saying? You're saying that they should potentially change it so teams can avoid each other to make it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
That's what they do in the Champions League, don't they? They keep the teams from the same.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree. I think a draw's a draw. You could end up playing people in your derby, the people you played the week before, the people you're playing next week. That's what it is. The draw's been like that for a lot. I think that's
but as a supporter, Mike, right? Take Dorking Wanderers for example. When it came out, like I saw James Lampard's quote actually before I'd seen the draw, and he hadn't mentioned who they got, but I knew immediately they got another National League South side, and I'm like, well, they're going to play them twice already this year. When you get a bit further deeper into the competition, when there's not enough sides left, kind of fair enough. But if you look at the FA Cup, for example, two Premiership sides draw each other. The TV companies are having a loving over it. If none of them were playing against each other, the TV companies have actually got to be a bit more, what's the word?
Savvy,
yeah. And actually look at, right, what are people actually going to want to watch? People actually don't want to watch those kind of games. And I can't imagine, I imagine when the draw went out, probably all four of those managers went, great. I've got them in a couple of weeks' time. Whereas Farnham going to Horsham is extremely intriguing because Horsham are on a great run. Farnham are doing extremely well in their division. Of those two great games against Sutton in the FA Cup, there's that little bit of what's that word?
Intrigue.
Yeah. I sort of see where you're going with this, Trev. To be fair, and there's some mileage in it. But then again, when's the FA ever gave a toss about the fans?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as Mark White put, why can't they stream the draw?
Well,
the
old hot balls, cold balls.
Yeah, yeah. No one ever knows.
There is mileage in what you're saying, especially from a fan's view, especially as they're the ones weighing out for the money. Because am I right in saying they wouldn't get that for their season tickets?
No, they don't. No.
So that's extra dollar that they got to find in a tight world at the moment, especially in the UK. So, but are the FA going to do anything? Are they?
Absolutely, yeah. I know.
Just all you got to do is look at when it comes to the big stuff, the FA Cup final. How many tickets fans actually get? Very few, and also the kickoff times. You'll have two northern teams playing there without a cat and hell's chance of being able to get back up there. 5:30
kickoffs, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was at the one where Wigan. I was at the one where Wigan beat City, and I had to get up to Leeds afterwards for a wedding. And I tell you what, I've never been so happy to see us concede in the last minute of a game, particularly a cup final, because it was either that or I weren't getting to that wedding because they put it on a stupid hour.
I think the other thing as well with the trophy is the way it's structured now, because you've got so many Step 4 divisions as well. Yeah. They play so many games against each other at the Step 4 level before the Step 3s come in, and then by the time the Step 1s come in, the Step 2s now, half of them are out because they've had to play against each other, and then they get through to this level, and then like two of the south sides get each other, and like two of the north sides get each other, and they're all sitting there thinking, why have we bothered?
It's a bit like that shitty Nations League, isn't it? Yeah, you see, like it's you know what I mean. The same teams seem to play the same teams year on year.
Yeah,
in there. So I'll take it back. You've definitely got some mileage. And that.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, how many Worthing fans will think, well, I'm not sure. They've played Tunbridge at home, so they probably haven't got Tunbridge away for a few weeks. But again, in a couple of Saturdays' time, and as we said, it doesn't cover season tickets holders for Dorking or Tunbridge Angels. Chances are the price is not going to drop because you're playing aside from the same division, so you can charge, and they're not going to quibble at it because it's going to be shared receipts and that. So it's just, it's just a little bit more parity, I think. But then we see the higher you go in the game, the less the parity is. It's more, like that than it is to like that.
I don't think they should do that in the FA Cup, though, the actual FA Cup, though, because if you're a neutral fan, and maybe a bit of a casual, there's a good chance in round 3 you can get a Premier versus a Premier. I think it happened with United and Arsenal this year, I think, or something like that, possibly.
Might have done last season. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So that, but when it's a secondary or third type trophy, like the FA Trophy, I think there could be some mileage now. You could be on something there, Trev. You want to go down to Lancaster Gate, mate, and bang on the door and let them know that we said, "Oi, sort it out."
Well, while they're out, I'll get them to try and reinstate the replays and go back to regional in the FA Cup first round and second round as well, because that doesn't need to be teams travelling north from until you get to the third round. You don't want it.
Or if you're going to do it regionally, do it properly, because some of the regional ties, some of the ties in the last qualifying round were absolutely mental. Averley had Gateshead, or there was some absolutely mental ties because of how they did the north-south split.
Yeah, and Billericay lost out as well. Yeah, there was a bit of an anomaly, I think, in the clubs that had gone through, because two northern clubs ended up beating two Midland-based clubs in the northern draw, which meant obviously if the Midland clubs had gone through, they should have been in the southern draw, but they couldn't delay the draw for like 2 or 3 days, because that would mean the FA have then got to wake up on a Wednesday and do the draw instead of a Monday. So,
and they're all dinosaurs anyway.
Exactly. Anyway, let's put the FA Trophy to bed. Right, let's get on with the National League South. And last Saturday, Eastbourne Borough went down 2-1 at home to Chesham United. Horsham beat Enfield Town by 1-0, and Worthing beat Dover Athletic by 3-1. On Tuesday evening, Eastbourne Borough and Chichester City drew 2 each in the Sussex Senior Cup second round, with Borough going through 4-2 on penalties. This coming Saturday, Horsham are on the road to Bath City. Eastbourne Borough head to Enfield Town, and Worthing are at home to Hampton and Richmond. Then on Tuesday evening, Eastbourne Borough host Dagenham and Redbridge, and Horsham are at home to Dover Athletic. Horsham up to 7th after 3 wins in a row, and now separated by Dorking after their 1-0 win on Tuesday evening. So Worthing in 9th with 3 wins in a row. And I know we've said all the way through this season what a great job Dom's been doing, but to get them into a playoff place at this stage of the season, when everyone had them in the bottom 4, it just shows how well a job he's doing. And obviously the Hinch effect, 3 wins out of 3 since he's come back in the National League South.
I think firstly, go on, Chris, go on.
I was going to say on Worthing, 3 on the bounce. They've also got 3 home games in a row coming up, so chance to be adding on that, building on that momentum.
Well, lads, I don't want to say I did say it, but I did say it. Worthing will be there or thereabouts this year. I'm absolutely certain for it. There's a buzz around the crowd again. Their prodigal son has come home, added a few. Definitely not the finished article, but it's still a lot more to come from that team. Still a lot more to come from that team. Horsham, Dom DePalace walking on water at the moment. Everyone will tell you that his, as Trev said, his aim was to stay up. Now I reckon in the back of his mind he's thinking, well, how many points do I need now?
What, to stay up?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I imagine that. I think that would have been his target at the end of the season. How many points do I need to finish 5th from bottom? And I think the one
6 wins, you reckon? 6 wins you need? What's he on? 22 points, 6-7 wins?
6 wins are given 40, wouldn't it? No, I reckon you need about 45 to be sure.
So about 7-8 wins in there.
More than that.
Could be. Yeah. It potentially could be safe by turn of the year.
Yeah, I think one thing probably he'll have in the back of his mind is, Dover came up with them, had a flying start, and they've hit the wall, and they're starting to slide down the table a little bit. And I'd imagine the back of his mind, he's got that kind of thought as well, that we don't want to be that club that follows them in that direction. But while the going's good, and there's some big clubs in that division as well that are in the bottom half that haven't really got going yet. Your Ebbsfleets, your Dagenhams, even, though Dorking is sitting between Horsham and Worthing at the moment, they haven't got that consistency. The likes of Hornchurch and Weston-super-Mare, have got as well. And there's a couple of clubs in that bottom 4 that probably wouldn't have expected to be in their eye, Chippenham and Borough. So, plenty of work to be done, but as as someone I know well said, you never get too high with the highs, you never get too low with the lows.
No,
you take it how it goes.
With that, how many points does it take to stay up? Cursory glance at the last few tables, well, it's been 24 teams, would suggest 47 is about the average. So
50, 45,
yeah. So if you go 50, I think 50 is a decent marker.
I think would be for the South. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the National League itself, not many clubs have gone down with 50 points. The last couple of years they have, which shows how competitive and tight it can be at the bottom of that. But where you've got that clear divide in the South, though, where you've got the full-time teams, the hybrids, and the part-times as well, you'd expect the table to fall into those three packs. At the moment, it's nowhere near that at the moment, which is obviously throwing everyone else into disarray because they're not what I think they should be.
No, indeed. Looking at Horsham, I mean, the job that they've done is, you guys have covered it off. It's absolutely incredible what's going on there. 2 defeats in 12. It's ridiculous. I do just want to say that in November, the fixtures do start turning a little bit. They've got Hampton, Richmond, Hemel, Ebbsfleet away, Western coming up in November. So it's going to get harder. But that's not to take away from what they've done up till now, because it has been incredible.
Who have they got over Christmas, Chris?
Over Christmas, they have got Chesham on Saturday the 20th, and then on the 26th, they are at Dorking before they host London.
And both managers know each other really well. They speak nearly every other day, don't they, Dom and Mark?
Yeah.
So that one's going to have a serious Christmas hangover.
Well, that's a box. Yeah, so that'll be one for Boxing Day. For those of you about them, and it's Farnborough on the 30th.
And who have Worthing got Boxing Day, if you don't mind me saying?
I'd guess Borough, given what I said about.
I suspect it's probably going to be Borough, isn't it?
You would imagine so. Let's just see if my computer tries to die. It's Borough away, so it's Borough here at Priory Lane. Not that I'm at Priory Lane, but I'm nearer to that than I'm Worthing.
Yeah, well, I'm at Kempton, so.
Fair. King George Day, innit?
It sure is, mate. Taking the family.
Right, into the Isthmian League Premier Division. No games for our sides last Saturday because of the FA Trophy. Obviously, Chichester, as we said, bowed out of the Sussex Senior Cup on Tuesday night. In the Premier Division, Whitehawk's game with Canvey Island was postponed due to an incident on the M25, and Lewis beat Cheshunt by 2-1. This coming Saturday, Burgess Town host Canvey Island, Chichester City are at home to Dulwich, and Lewis head to Cray Valley Paper Mills, whilst on Tuesday evening, Whitehawk host the leaders Brentwood Town. As we mentioned, Greg Nelson's first game back in charge of Lewis last night, and comes up with 3 points against the Cheshunt side, who have started very well themselves. So maybe going back is for everyone.
Yeah, well, I weren't happy actually, because I backed Cheshunt at evens last night in my ACCA. So I thought, we'd seen that they were on the slide and that, and I thought, it might take Pitts another couple of games to get into it.
Yeah.
Get the result when I got back from the Shoreham game, and I thought that's the last time I betted on that shower over there, I'll tell you.
I will say though, Cheshunt's seasons mirrored Lewis's to the very, very similarly. They both started really well, and up until they played on Tuesday, neither team had won since 25th of August. Really? It was 8 without a win for Cheshunt, 5 draws, 3 losses. They haven't kept a clean sheet yet this season. So
I should have asked you before I bet on them, shouldn't I?
Get the lowdown on the stats first.
So I can send you a match preview for anything in Sussex. But yeah, I don't want to just clang the Lewis a back bell just yet. But again, it's another decent-ish fixture at the minute with Cray Valley at the weekend, because they've not been in great shakes either.
No.
You know a bit about that club as well, don't you, Trev? You're tied in there, aren't you?
Yeah, and they've released another 3 players today. They played Brentwood last night. They were 1-0 up at half time, and then Brentford went to town second half and won 3-1. I mean, Brentford have been phenomenal. Yeah, they've got a lad up front, Daniel. I can't think what his name is, Oggy Bay or something like that. He was on trial at Barnet during the summer, and we didn't take him up. But he's gone back to Brentwood. He's got 10 this season already. They've only lost 1, I think, in about 14 league games so far. So Whitehawk have got their work cut out on Tuesday night. But going back to Lewis, be an interesting game, I think, at Cray Valley on Saturday. I know where Steve McKimm's lost a lot of goals up front from last year. They've really struggled to find the back of the net. So although actually Dan Bowery's returned to Cray Valley from Lewis a couple of days ago, and Danny Waldron's back. He was there last year after he got sacked by Beckenham. So it should be an interesting game, I think, between the pair of those two on Saturday. Also, Dulwich heading to Chichester as well.
Yeah, they've not won in 6, Dulwich. 4 draws in a row.
They were flying at the beginning of the season, weren't they?
Yeah. And just dropped off a little bit. And obviously, Chive not played too many league games for obvious reasons as well. So they've got a bit of catching up to do. But they're
in better form though, Chai. They've not lost in 3, albeit I can't tell just by looking at this graphic when those games were played. So the one shortfall. I just want to give a shout out to someone on Twitter called Moder on the Dance Floor, which, by the way, is one of the better Twitter handles out there. That is fantastic stuff. He actually was, unfortunately enough, he actually managed to make it to Canvey last night.
The road, wasn't it? The road closed off.
Yeah, but he got there.
Yeah.
So that Paul Booker had gone all that way for a game. I've done that before from my home in Glossop, getting down to Brentford for a cup game against City on a Tuesday night. And we got there, and at 6 o'clock they called it off, so we had to drive back. I'd been pulled out of school to go to that one. So
these things happen, though, don't they?
They do. So fair play for travelling though. That's quality stuff.
Yeah, it is what it is. Right, into the Isthmian South East Division. Results last Saturday. Eastbourne Town went down 3-0 at AFC Whiteleaf. Hassocks beat Broadbridge Heath by 2-1. Hastings United lost 3-1 at home to Deal. Sheppard United beat East Grinstead Town 2-0, and Three Bridges beat Crowborough by 1-0. On Tuesday evening, Deal Town won 2-1 at East Grinstead Town. Hastings United and Hassocks shared a 1-1 draw. Jersey Bulls and Three Bridges also shared a 1-1 draw. And in the Velocity Cup, Crowborough Athletic beat Sittingbourne by 4-0. On Saturday, Hassocks head to Beckenham Town. Broadbridge Heath over BCD Athletic. Crowborough Athletic at home to Margate. As Chris mentioned, East Grinstead Town are at home to Hastings. Eastbourne Town host Ashford United, and Three Bridges travel to Erith Town. On Tuesday evening, Broadbridge Heath against East Grinstead Town, and Hassocks travel to Faversham Town. On Wednesday evening, the Velocity Cup, Three Bridges head to Kingstonian. It's extremely tight in that middle pack of the table from 8th down to about 15th, where Jersey Bulls are at the moment. And everyone in the top sort of 6 or 7 has played a similar amount of games, but anyone in that chasing pack win 2 in a row, and all of a sudden they're sitting on the edge of those playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, Sittingbourne are having a weird season, and I say weird in the sense that they're averaging less than 2 points a game, which after last season when they got over 100, it does feel weird, And obviously they got beat by Crowborough on Tuesday night. I don't know what sort of side they put out, but
not a strong one.
No,
neither side put a strong one out. So, but they have signed Jordan Ibe.
Yeah, well, yeah,
the old Bournemouth Liverpool player.
Yes, the one that John Aldridge said would be better than Raheem Sterling. And to be fair, when he first came through, like he did look great, and I know he's had some issues, particularly with his mental health. So it's good to see him doing something he enjoys, And he looks like where was he before?
Hungerford, Ebbsfleet, and I think he's done one other as well in the last couple of years. But the thing has been A, keeping him fit on the pitch, and B, looking after his mental health issues off the pitch. If anyone can do that, then they've got a cracking player within there.
Definitely.
But it is that, as I put on Twitter, it was like someone went, it's a cracking sign. I think it was Dean went if in capital letters. That's the big thing, with them. But I mean, the thing though with Sittingbourne though is they have only played 11 games. They win the 3 games in hand they've got on Faversham and Three Bridges. They're up into about 4th, I think it is.
Yeah, and I suppose it's all right, mate. I suppose it's just a bit. I'd be a bit concerned if they start stringing results together, because that's one thing they've failed to do this year. Like, if they can start doing that, then yes, they're very dangerous. And you've got Jordan Ibe loading the gun for Rushar Samuel Smickle, who obviously signed from Crowborough, who got off to a great start to the season as well. So they could be dangerous yet. There's a lot of defence quite well.
Yeah, tough starts, Mike, for both East Grinstead and Hastings for their new management teams. Both competitive in terms of the scoreline results, though. But at the end of the day, 2 points dropped on was it Tuesday for Hastings?
Yes,
it was one against Sussex. Yeah, and I was a late winner. There's a late winner for
Deal.
Late goals, I think, for Deal on Saturday as well.
And Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, which one do you want me to start at? East Grinstead?
Start where you like. both had tough starts, haven't they?
Grant and Andy knew the job they were taking over there. They made that quite clear. They knew the task that they were facing. Complete overhaul in squad and players. Been a lot of debate about that over the last few days from some certain teams. 3 points, 13 games, 29 goals against. It's not great reading, but if you've got anyone in there that can change around that club, it's them two that know the club inside out. I know they've brought along, I saw one of their team sheets. I think we all saw it, didn't we? 10 players.
It'll surprise you not to learn that I might have some stats on this.
Okay. Well, then fire away, mate. Fire away. You are the Sussex stats man.
Of the 15 players who were involved in Forest Row's last 2 games under Grant and Andy, 12 have already appeared for East Grinstead. So that's 80% of that squad have moved over.
Okay.
So, it's that's a heck of a number. So they know the players they're dealing with. I think it's, and I think I read that. Well, I read it, yeah, because I wrote it. More than half of the appearances that Forest Row have had this season. So there was 173 separate appearances, which when you think 12 matches in the league, up to 16 players can make an appearance. So it averages around 14 and a half people making an appearance a game. So that makes sense. Over half, 99 of the 173 have gone to East Grinstead. And and the chairman, yeah, exactly. Elliot.
Yeah, Ryan. Saw him last night. Cheers for the beer.
His name, Elliot
Benton.
Benton, that's the one. Yeah, he came on for his first appearance of the season. And I think 10 of the people who played for Forest Row on Saturday, so 10 of the start 11, were making their debuts.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, for anyone that saw the podcast I did with Grant and Andy, let's be real. Let's be real about it. There's a lot of players that play for managers and not clubs. You can have an allegiance to a club for a season, half a season, 10 seasons. If you don't get on with the manager and they don't buy into you, you either leave the club or you follow the manager sometimes. And it seems like that's happened there. I know when they're speaking, they thought maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 players would move over. And it's more than that. So you can't blame those players for doing that. Yeah. You can take away the fact that some teams saying, oh, it's not right. You can't just move a team because then, you can't just move a whole team over. They're not in the same league. Yeah. Is there any ethics involved in it? Is there any ethics in football as it is?
Not in this league, because we cover Sussex.
Yeah. Well, no. What I'm saying is, I've moved teams when I played because the manager moved. Yeah. I've gone to teams because it was the manager I wanted to play for.
Yeah, but are we talking mid-season or are we talking end of a season?
It's not even mid-season, though, is it?
Yes,
it is. We are mid-season. And the whole club has literally upped and packed the suitcases and gone. It's not. You can dress it up. You can non-dress it up. There should be something that prohibits it because it's actually now left one club completely in the shit.
It's about the integrity.
Well, is that poor planning from the club that's left in the shit then?
Good question. But should it be allowed to happen? Should it be allowed? 11 clubs.
Should it be allowed to happen? Now, I was at a game last night. A lot of people were talking about this, saying oh, it's bang out of order. You can't just pick up a whole team. Is there a rule to it?
There's evidently not, because otherwise,
Yeah, well, so therefore, they haven't broke that rule. Okay.
I think what you've got though, Mike, is where Forest Row were paying their players through Andy and Grant, which is common knowledge. It's not being paid through the club itself, effectively. But then, and it's the same anywhere in non-league football. As soon as someone pulls the money out, the question then is, how do we pay the wages? How are we going to do this? Players weren't paying. We saw it at Lancing last year, didn't we? Players didn't get paid, off they went, which quite rightly, possibly, because they've been told they're going to get X amount per game, and it's not arrived. You do the same if your wages were short. So it's a kind of similar scenario, and it isn't. But
I can't blame those lads for doing that. Playing at a ground, they played it every other week. Yeah, Forest Row had the chance to sort some land out with a farmer in previously, and that hasn't progressed as much as it should have, or as quickly as it should have. Okay,
but then if that was a financial problem, should that money have not gone into that rather than the players' pockets?
Would Forest Row be anywhere where they are now without the money that had been put into that team? Would they have gone up?
But again, if we go back to the ground sharing bit as well, as we said in the documentary we did as well, the problem with ground sharing is unless you've got the out of the plan, then the problem is that it's short-term thinking. And if you don't have that long-term thinking with it as well, then we end up in scenarios like this because it's been money pumped into players instead of facilities and infrastructure.
The way I look at it, those lads played for Grant and Andy. Those lads had a chance to play at another step up at the same ground that they knew, because they were ground sharing, under the same management that brought them together at Forest Row, and would likely get enough of a compensation to make that extra commitment to move there. I think no one can say to those lads, it's out of order, it's wrong, because unfortunately, you can't. That is football.
You can't put the blame on that because there is nothing to stop it happening, but it shouldn't be happening is the thing, because we're now going to look at from independent people. I know you've got friendships, with Grant and Andy and that, which isn't a problem, but independently, as we look at it as a podcast, Forest Row are now in trouble. When I was at New Haven last night, Stenning assume they're going to be playing Forest Row on Saturday. They ain't 100% sure. This was on Tuesday night because of what happened on Monday night as well.
Yeah, we should probably say that we should. I was going to say we should probably say that obviously Forest Row were due to play last night on Monday against Haywards Heath, and had to, and it ended up being a walkover, presumably because Forest Row couldn't raise a team, which is unusual. Like that doesn't. I've not seen that happen.
No, and then again, we're also bringing in the integrity of the Southern combination, because Forest Row have been during a great season so far, and potentially they're just going to drop like a stone unless there's, the bottom of the lift shaft's going to hold them up.
I think maybe also we're doing a bit of an injustice to the incoming Forest Row gaffer there, who actually is known to the new East Grinstead management team. Okay, so it's not like he's unknown to them. He is known. He comes with fantastic credentials. I believe he was involved with Crystal Palace as well. Maybe he needs a few weeks to get his signings in. Maybe he thought, okay, I'm going to lose 5 or 6. And then maybe the players decided, well, actually, I'm really happy under Grant and Andy here. I'd like to test myself a bit more. I'll make that step up. So then maybe he's thinking, okay, I've got to now get in 12, 14 players, okay, which we all know is tough. So I think maybe, we got to judge Forest Row in the next 3-4 games, see how they go. Hey, it'll be known it won't mean much to them that they. I know it's not right, but they scratched the game against Haywards Heath. Okay, way Haywards Heath are playing at the moment, they beat teams in league above them. And that might have just detrimented the change the new gaffer's trying to make. I think we have to give him time, let him get his stuff in there. Look, at the end of the day, it's not ideal for Forest Row. That's quite clear.
Yeah.
But that decision did not happen overnight. Okay. I am certain that the club, or at least the hierarchy of that club, would have known that if that one job came available, East Grinstead, because I know full well they were touted for it at the end of August. Okay, they were approached at the end of August. Okay, and it weren't the right time. So
no, but it's a difference between touting for managers and touting for players and touting for 12 players. And again, like I said, I don't blame either set of people for going where they are. Potentially they would have walked away from Forest Row because Forest Row wouldn't have been able to have paid them what they were promised. So you then open up a different conversation as well. But, again, as we've said, there's the integrity. There's the integrity of Monday night with the cup competition, of them just pulling out without needing to field a side. You then open that up again as well to other clubs later in the season that decide, actually, I don't want to play this cup tie, we'll just pull out. It opens up so many. And again, a lot of it is not the fault of the clubs or the players or the managers or whatever. It's the infrastructure around it that isn't set up to actually understand this can happen and that can happen, and it shouldn't happen because it's non-league football. It's not the Premier League where, only 2 players disappear from here. It's a massive, great thing that's actually caused a crater, basically.
But they would have known that this. If it's caused a crater, they knew that comet was coming. They knew.
And again, as I've said, it's not. As I've said, it's not aimed at them, but there is something in there that shouldn't allow 12 players just to shoot off just like that, because that could happen. Somewhere else. So, like I've said, it's not them. It's the infrastructure around them that's allowing it to happen. But being an FA thing, it's not going to change, is it? As we said earlier.
No,
it's hate the player, hate the game. I think is probably the best way to sum it up.
Yeah, simple as that. Right,
but I also do really hope that the new incoming Forest Row gaffer, who sounds a great guy, by the way, who comes with a hell of a CV in that coaching game involving pro clubs, he gets his next few weeks together and then starts building them. Because let's not forget, what are they, third? They're still third in the league, yeah. So it's not like they're sitting at the end of
that's the thing.
And can I ask one question then? Can I ask one question on your opinion on this? Have Grant and Andy left Forest Row as a club in a better position than when they started?
Depends.
Are we talking as a club or are we talking as on the pitch?
We're talking as a club overall. What would you say?
Well, no, you have. Well, if you separate,
I'd say yes. I'd say yes.
If you separate the two, if you separate the two out on the pitch, yes, because of where they've left them. Off the pitch, they're not home. They're ground sharing. There's no plans,
but is the manager then and the assistant manager in charge of making sure they've got a home?
No, but you said, have they left the club? Have they left the team in a better place? Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, I see what
the club.
Yeah, but so maybe I've misphrased that. Yeah, because it's not up to them to get a home.
No. But
it's up to them to get results on the pitch.
Yeah,
and they finished the most successful
team. Yes,
they finished the most successful place Forest Row have ever finished in their history.
Yeah, as a team, yes. As a club, no. But as you rightly say, the club part isn't their part of it. But if you word it as it is, no, because you've got to take the whole thing together. You split the two off, yes to the team, no to the club, because the club's hasn't got the plans to go home, nomadic existence forever, and you're constantly relying on money. Simple as that. Good question. I would assume the answer is yes to that. I'd imagine that probably would have come out of the club itself rather than Andy and Grant playing that. They were the team. Again, that's a team and the club thing. I think completely different. So
I like these kind of debates, though. Do you know what I mean? We need more of these kind of debates.
Yeah, I know. We're now like an hour and 9 minutes in, and we're like, hardly got through anything. So, right, let's get into
Right,
this.
yeah, okay, let's move on.
Isthmian South Central Division. Last Saturday, Bognor Regis Town beat Kingstonian by 2-0, and on Tuesday evening, Westfield beat Littlehampton Town by 3-0. This coming Saturday, Littlehampton Town head to Hendon and Bognor Regis Town head to Westfield, while on Tuesday evening, Bognor Regis Town host Hayes and Yedding. Seems to all be coming together for Bognor at the moment. 4 wins out of 5, and they're only a point behind LA all of a sudden.
That surprises me, because I really thought that they're going to come into a tough time. You, Trevor, said no, they're not. Said they're going to kick on now. So
yeah, I know my shit.
Yeah, a bit of it, mate. A bit of it. I'll give you that. But this
is why I'm a non-league wizard.
Yeah. Non-league wizard.
Hey, what? Back to back clean sheets as well. No clean sheets until then, and then back to back clean sheets. That's an even bigger sign, I think, for me.
Mm.
So, I mean, they've also had that.
Be honest, I'm not his biggest fan down there. You know, I've had a few words in the past, but I think he's doing a great job down there. So. Yeah.
Well, I think there's been a bit more stability the last few weeks over not so many players coming in and going out. I think they're quite settled at the moment. They've found a way to play. And as you said, Chris, he's picked them up back-to-back clean sheets as well. And I think, you know, as I said, I think beginning of the season as well, if they can just pick up enough points while they're at Chichester until they get back home and just, you know, keep themselves in a sensible position, you know, get themselves back into Nywood Lane and really start to rock as clubs do when they go home.
Oh, definitely. And the fixtures, I mean, their last 5 defeats have all come against the top 4 because they've had to play Moneyfields twice. Like,
yeah,
they've had a nightmare of a run of fixtures. Not top 4, beg your pardon, because Hamworth are 6th. So
they're top 4 when they played them though.
So yeah, exactly. So they had an absolutely horrible run of fixtures. Now they've sort of normalised. They've won 4 in 5. And yeah, kept 2 clean sheets, 3-0 and 2-0. I mean, you've got a tough one again at the weekend with West, but there's definitely green sheet. It's definitely a massive uptick from them. I mean, they were in the bottom. I mean, they were 21st for a while. I think they were bottom for a bit, and now they're mid-table. So good on them.
Yeah, looking good in it. Right, let's get into Southern Combination Pro Division results on Saturday. Horsham YM won 3-2 at Guernsey. AFC Vardinians went down 2-1 at home to Wick. Hayward Heath Town won 5-1 at Bexhill United. Crawley Down Gatwick beat Midhurst and Eastbourne by 2-0. Eastbourne United beat New Haven 5-3. Lancing beat Shoreham 5-2. Pagan won 3-0 against Lingfield. Peacehaven and Telscombe beat Seaford Town by 5-0. Roffey beat Forest Row by 4-0, and Stenning Town scored the same against Little Common. On Monday evening, as we mentioned, Forest Row's game in the RUR Charity Cup second round against Hayward Heath was postponed. On Tuesday evening, in the Surrey Senior Cup, Lingfield went down 8-0 to Woking. In the Premier Division, Seaford Town beat Shoreham by 5-1. Stenning Town won 3-2 at New Haven, and Peacehaven and Telscombe beat Crawley Down Gatwick by 3-1. This coming Saturday, it's AFC Vardinians against Peacehaven and Telscombe, as we mentioned, in the ground hop at 10:45. Stenning Town head to Forest Row. Hayward Heath Town hosts Guernsey at 2:00. Horsham YM are at home to Eastbourne United. Bexhill United travels to Lingfield, which is at AFC Whiteleaf. Little Common at home to Crawley Down Gatwick. Seaford Town home to Roffey. Pagham head to Shoreham, and in the ground hop, Lancing host New Haven at 5:45. On Tuesday evening, in the Peter Bentley Cup third round, Stenning Town are at home to Eastbourne United, and in the Premier Division, Wick host Peacehaven and Telscombe at 7:30. Right, let's start with you, Mike, because you've got the most to say on this, but you're going to have to keep it quick. Guernsey against Horsham YM. Let's start with that one.
Firstly, I just want to say thanks to everyone at Guernsey for the access they gave me and In Bed by 10 Lee Pen over the weekend. We flew in on Friday morning. We had a stadium tour. We met up with the key people in there, everything like that. One thing I will say about Guernsey is it is a step 3, step 2 setup. It's beautiful. I've got a video coming out Friday night. The whole trip we did, it was fantastic. The people behind the scenes, the food doctor's room. They streamed the game to everyone on the island as well, like on like RITV. It's mad.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and there was about 1,000 people there. They get about 1,000 home games. It is beautiful, and you'll see that from the video. Then I went and met in the morning. I went and met Horsham YM, Liam Giles, Gilesy, and the team at the airport. Those boys should have been 4-5-1 up in the first half. YM, they looked electric going forward. You know, they really, really, really surprised me because I thought it'd be 3-2 Guernsey. Didn't do Horsham. Don't flatter Horsham at all. They should have definitely won by many, many more in there. They had 2 disallowed. One was 3 yards offside. How the ref didn't get that because I was right in line. It was thing, but yeah. And then after the game, the hospitality is fantastic. All of the fans, wonderful as well, which is incredible. And then went and just tore the granny out of Guernsey in the pubs and the clubs after with those crazy ass YM boys, which was if someone's seen any clips to what happened, or the clips I could have posted, that they will realise that look, anyone that goes there is going to have a great away day. No trouble. All of the islanders love all the footballers coming in. You know, I'd go every other week if I could, if the missus allow it. But it was Horsham, YM, full and deserved winners. Met up with a lot of people in that club as well that travelled over, and they were great to me and Lee. So yeah, but wait till you see the video. That'll come out at 7 o'clock on Friday, this Friday, in there. But yeah, I've had to cut loads out because it's naughty.
Well, there's a surprise. Right, and then on to Shoreham Seaford on Tuesday evening.
Yeah, I've got some connections down at both clubs. I really like both clubs. I like both chairmans. I love Wisey as the manager in there. Red card in the game. Tom Shelley got sent off, which is ironic. Looks soft. Shoreham had a sending off that looks soft. Shoreham are struggling at the moment. Defensively.
Really?
Look, defensively in there.
They're leakier than a Welsh farm.
Yeah, look. It is tough. It is definitely tough. Look, he's lost all of his players now. All of his players. Everyone. They're starting out. I even saw Packer was on the bench for Lancing against Shoreham last week.
Yeah,
he was about Pax.
He's signed somewhere else. He's signed somewhere else. I can't remember. He's dual signed.
He was on Lill's bench last night, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know he was. Yeah, but he's also dual signed with someone else in the county league now. He's not Shoreham anymore.
No, it's Lancing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Lancing. Yeah,
because he was on the bench. He was on the bench against them. You know,
yeah.
He used to be the captain in that. So, you know, obviously Rondell's gone there with his new ideas and that. It's tough. Very, very tough. I really hope they can start putting some wins together. But, you know, Lancing beat him the other day. It's going to be really, really tough. They need to put something together. But
well, they are. They're putting a losing run together. 10 defeats in a row ain't clever. You know, and that's I mean, how many sides left below them now? 3.
So if I look at the table now, Lingfield, Van Dinians and Lancing, and at least 2 of them, in fact 2 of them, Lingfield and Lancing, are both giving them fairly handy defeats of late. I think both of them scored 30% of their goals this season in games against Shoreham.
And I think Shoreham have got Pagham at the weekend, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have got Pagham, yeah, Josh.
Which is no walk in the park with Lemmy's lot. But look,
might be
the only thing true about luck is at some point it has to change. I'm hoping it changes very soon. Also, I like Pagham. But listen, take nothing away from Wisey and Darts boys. Seaford, they were clinical, took the chances. they're picking up points again. Now they got their boys back. So watch them start coming back up in the league.
I was going to say credit to Seaford having got hammered 5-0 at Peacehaven on Saturday to then come back and hit 5 themselves. You know, against the side that is in very poor form, you still got to go and do it. You know, so credit for them. Yeah, credit for them doing that. They got 6 million views on Twitter precisely. Everyone's going to remember that, aren't they? Gaz and I were at New Haven against Stenning last night, and Stenning were very good. Missing Joe Ben and Harry Heath, and still put 3 in the back of the net. New Haven, a very, very young team, 17-year-old goalkeeper, 3 centre halves are all 18 years old. So not surprisingly, they make a few mistakes. And but they got themselves back into it and then scored with 2 minutes to go. It's made it a nervy 3-2 for the last 5 or 10 minutes. That Stenning should have really closed themselves out, but held on to win 3-2 and headed back to the back into second place, I think, for the first time this season. But had a good catch up with Sean Breach after the game and Lee Robinson, and obviously saw Mike as well. And funny enough, actually, when we're talking to Breachy, Guernsey, they didn't enjoy not the result. Obviously, they got hammered 7-1, but everything before they said wasn't great. Which is the first I've heard.
What did they say that weren't great about it? The planes that have propellers on. That's a bit.
Yeah, no, their fans apparently. They were. You obviously paid to get in, don't you, and everything. But then they were going to be charged more to go and sit in a stand, rather than if they went and stood somewhere else or sat somewhere else, which I have heard at non-league clubs in the past do that, which I thought was a bit funny.
I don't know about that. To be fair, I'd had about 14 cruisy cats.
You were probably about 7 pints deep by then, so I mean they could have charged you £100 and you'd have paid to sit down there, so I wouldn't have worried. But yeah, just first one I've heard. Some maybe but they said if they could have stayed the night as well, they would have done, but couldn't because it didn't fit with players and staff and that. But yeah, they're quite philosophical about their season because they're so young. They're going to get results that just bounce like a flipping epigraph all the way through the season. But they're not doing too badly. But nice to get down and see a few people. Shout out to the Stenning chairman Paul Nichols as well. Once we finally managed to get in the ground last night, it was a bit difficult to get in. To watch the game last night to start with.
But basically, racing guru, is he? He's not the famous racing trainer, is he, Paul Nichols?
No, not the same.
No, if he was, I'd tell you what, I'll be banging on his door. I'll be up there every Saturday trying to get some Cheltenham tips.
Right, let's get into some combination Division 1.
I've just got a couple of bits on the Prem. Firstly, Hayward Heath, great record. It ended at the weekend, courtesy of Ryan Moore at Bexhill. 19 hours without conceding. So
wow.
Hats off to them for that, because that is absolutely incredible. 7-week run without conceding. 2nd through to 9th is absolutely mental. Mm-hmm. Stenning, for example, they're 2nd. They're closer to 10th, Roffey, than they are to Hayward Heath in top.
That's a good stat.
That's going to be very spicy over the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Keep your eyes out. Yeah.
Right. Southern Combination Division 1 then. The results last Saturday. Selsley won 1-0 at AF Sheffield Town. Arundel went down 2-1 at home to Dorking Wanderers B. I think it was Mike giving them the curse for that one. First against second half. When I saw the result, that's the first thing I thought of was you putting the kiss of death on Arundel there. First against second finish, 1-1 between
nothing but love for Arundel. Nothing but love.
And Godalming. Jarvis Brook beat East Preston by 2-0. AFC Wolverhampton won 7-1 at Loxwood. Mile Oak beat Copthorne by 2-0. Ringmore AFC beat Oakwood by 3-2. Infinity won 1-0 at Saltdean United, and Worthing United beat Reigate Priory by 3-2. This coming Saturday, AFC Wolverhampton host Ringmore AFC. Billingshurst are at home to Saltdean United. Copthorne hosts Selsley. East Preston at home to Reigate Priory, Infinity at home to Oakwood, and Dorking Wanderers B head to Mile Oak. Then on Sunday, the 2 games in the Hop, Loxwood hosts Arundel at 11 o'clock, and Godalming Town hosts Worthing United at 2:30. As mentioned earlier, Billingshurst will go top if they win at home to Saltdean because their goal difference is far superior already. Chris, 5 points 6th down to 13th. It's just quite as tight as a pack in the Premier Division as well.
It is. It's probably even less than that if you're listening to my maths on Sunday. When I went live with the stat pack, yeah, it's just ludicrous, isn't it? Worthing, Godalming, and Billings are split by 2 points. The top 13 split by 11 points. Mark Pullen has just left Cawthorne. Okay, yeah, it's just going to give and give and give this league, isn't it? I thought Godalming had run away with it, and then all of a sudden they've been reeled in. And admittedly, playing Billingshurst and Worthing United 2 weeks running isn't pleasant. Just what a division it is. What a division.
Oh yeah, for me, I really like this division. I think Cuzzer and Sooty did a great job up at Worthing United with a very young squad. Players they know, but young squad, and they'll be quietly confident keeping on. We know what Mo does at Godalming Town. He's been setting the standard. I thought that they would really kick on, the same as you, but they lost their keeper as well, didn't they? To injury. It was a bad injury, wasn't it?
They released him as well, I think, was what I saw during the week. We were talking about it last night with Breachy. I didn't realise he was gone on his keeper. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, they're still joints up. But the team that has surprised me is Billingshurst. I call them the most entertaining team in the league. I haven't seen this year, and I have to get on it because it is only up the road from me. And I do apologise for not being there, but Infinity, Jarvis, Brook, Reigate. Could you call it?
Games in hand.
Could you call it now?
No, not a chance. Too early in the season.
On Billingshurst, because I remember on that first stat show, I said like they're the goaliest team ever who have lived or whatever. Since then, well, in fact, if you go back to the 30th of August when they played Walcoutians, they've kept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clean sheets in the league in 9 games.
Yeah,
they have really. They must have watched. They've really tightened up. And going back to when we had Mo on the show, actually, he was saying about what they've always been very solid, and what they've struggled with most is scoring. And that's kind of what we're seeing, I think. The goal difference for Godalming is probably not where Mo would want it. So, shows he knows his squad. He definitely knows his squad. And like just looking back through their last few league fixtures, like they've scored 1 in their last 2. They haven't scored more than 2 in a game since the 13th of September. That's 6 weeks. And in that time, they've scored 4. So they've scored 4 in the last 6.
What a game, though, they've got at the weekend.
Oh, yeah, and they've just played Billingshurst. So what a way to finish the Sussex Hop, though, eh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good.
Right,
go on.
And just shout out, I thought...
Shout-outs come later. Did you not read the agenda?
What, you sent one this week?
Yeah, you put your thumbs up to it. The only one that did. So
I just obviously want to mention about Pullen leaving. Cawthorne. That's we've just had somebody who's watching the show, someone who's been a supporter since day one, message me and say that Mark Pullen has left Cawthorne. I mean, look, they're bang in trouble, aren't they? Anyway, so he's probably thought, I'm not going to get out of this.
Well, I mean, as you said a bit earlier, Mike, in the a couple of weeks ago, though, like with Cawthorne down there, and I've said it's a wasted year because they should have been allowed to be relegated, regroup themselves, and come back up again. And all they're doing this year is just wasting the whole year of football. And they were, we pretty much thought they'd finish bottom anyway, literally because the new clubs coming in going to have that little bit of bounce, which most of them have had. And they haven't. They're on that spiral, and they finish in that bottom 3 for a reason. They were the 3rd worst side in that division. So,
how is that unsustainable? Playing as well.
Again, we go down the same Forest Row route. Cawthorne haven't got ground good enough for the County League, neither of Forest Row. And at some point, you've got to have that ability to return home somewhere.
But the one team I just want to quickly mention about this league. And shout out to Tommy Haddon for getting his result against Oakwood, but it's not that for Ringmer. It's Selsey.
Yeah, we did mention them last week. Yeah,
mate, that is
really good run at the moment.
Since they drew, we've got them in town, and only lost. They've beaten Oakwood 4-2, beaten Walcounton's 4-0, beaten Reigate Priory, beaten Shoreham, and beaten Uckfield.
Yeah, and a few clean sheets in there as well.
We don't talk enough about them because they're normally a bit down there, a bit obscure. But shout out to Salesy, because that is one hell of a run that they are on at the moment, without a doubt. And it's good to see. It really is.
Absolutely.
And
right.
Is he waving at us? Should we not put him back in the screen? Should we not put him back in there? Oh, it's Statman. You're back. Statman, we're just saying about Salesy quickly.
Yeah, they're third in the form guide.
Yeah, if you read the chat messages, Mike, between us, it says third in the form guide. I'm just had a look at. Yeah,
I'm not ignoring you, lads. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just been busy.
The last thing I said was I don't know anything, and then someone saw fit to kick me off.
I'll tell you what, Mike. So long as you haven't given them the kiss of death, though, because they travelled to Cockthorne on Saturday.
Oh, God.
So
I might stick my CV in for that job.
Darren, make sure you pick up the 3 points at Cockthorne, otherwise you've got the podcast curse this week. Right, let's get into the Step 7 results. Last Saturday, Sussex Intermediate Cup, Harrison beat Wittering United by 3-0. In Division 2, Alford and Bosham shared a 1-1 draw. Chester City B won 2-0 at Ferring, and Southwater won 1-0 at Rudgwick. Russellton beat ASC Brighton Rangers 2-1. Upper Beeding drew 2-2 with Capel. Worthing Town went down 6-1 at home to Brighton Electricity, and TD Shipley beat Storrington by 5-1. This coming Saturday in the Sussex Intermediate Cup, it's AFC Fishbourne against Chester City B. In the Surrey FA Saturday Premier Cup, it's Worplesdon Phoenix against Capel at 1:30. In Division 2, it's Rudgwick against AFC Brighton Rangers, Southwater against Ferring in the Ground Hop, TD Shipley against Bosham, Upper Beeding against Storrington, and Harrison Town against Brighton Electricity, which is a 3 p.m. kickoff. And of course, on Friday evening, it's Alfold against Russellton at 7:45. In the Mid Sussex Premier Division, was Cookfield Rangers 7, Punnets Town 2, Lindfield 0, Balcombe 2, Polegate Town 0, Holland Sports 1, Reigate Pro Reserves 2, French Athletic 3, Rotherfield 0, Westfield 4, and Shoreham Seconds and Hollington United was postponed. This coming Saturday in the Surrey FA Saturday Intermediate Cup, Trenham against Reigate Priory Reserves, and Westminster Casuals against French Athletic, both 1:30 kickoffs. In the Montgomery Cup, Pitfield Rangers against Wivelsfield Green, and the Premier Division, Holland Sports against Hollington United, Punnets Town against Polegate Town, Rotherfield against Shoreham Seconds, Westfield host Balcombe, and Crowhurst are at home to Linfield at 3 o'clock. In the West Sussex Prem results last week, Malcolm Simmons Memorial Cup, AFC Fishbourne 1, Goring by Sea Cricket 3, Calfold 1, TD Shipley Reserves 5, Emsworth Town and Dale United was postponed, and Whisper Green beat Billingshurst Reserves 4-2. In the Premier Division, Harting Amering was postponed, Horsham Crusaders beat Holbrook Athletic by 3-0. Waterfield beat Petworth by 4-1. This coming Saturday in the Centenary Cup, it's Westcott 1935 against Dale United, and in the Premier Division, Angmering hosts Horsham Crusaders, Waterfield head to Harting, Holbrook Olympic against Wittering United, and Petworth against Billingshurst Reserves.
Just a bit concerned about Worthing Town sitting there at the second to bottom, just down the road from me. So that needs to change, boys.
Well, could be one. You never know. Could be one. Right. Gaz might not be here, but he's actually sent us his burger review. And if you've gone onto Instagram today, he's actually put his last 3 up, which are really good, actually. So here's Gaz's New Haven burger review from last night. Entry-level flour bap, nothing fancy, just does the job. Burger itself, decent. The saving grace is the cheddar cheese and smoked bacon combo, which is always a massive win in my book. £7.50 all in. I gave Worthing United's burger a 7.5 out of 10 for having a slightly better bun and proper burger cheese. This one's got cheddar, bonus points, but stuck with an ELB, entry-level bun for those of you not in the know. So it evens out. Chris is giving it 7.5 out of 10 for New Haven. So not too bad, Sean. I know you were a bit worried about the burger when I spoke to you on Monday as you knew Gaz was coming. and hoped it was going to be all right. So it looks like you've passed the test on the burger review. So there we go. And I think he's at Loxford on. No, he's at East Preston on Saturday. So I imagine he'll do one from there. And obviously it's bacon rolls at Loxford on Saturday morning. So you might get a hash brown review on Saturday instead of burgers. Who knows?
Did he do one about when me and him went to YM the other day?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. If you go on Instagram, you'll have a look. It's on there. It's on there. Trust me.
I've done one for the Guernsey in the video as well, and I'll tell you what, fantastic.
He'll probably go, yeah. You ain't the NFL food, the SNLF food guy. Right on to team of the week. Our winners last week were Worthing United. We had about 7 in the running, I think. So I know Michael was flipping arse, and I can't remember. I've written them down somewhere as well.
And everyone always thinks they still think I have something to do with this. I know when all you lot know.
No, it's quite funny how everyone kind of
everyone still gets
really
pissed off every week and goes, "Why this? Why that?" I love it.
Yeah.
I just let you lads take the abuse.
Right. So last week in the running were Worthing, Horsham, Broadbridge Heath, Three Bridges, Horsham YM, Worthing United, and Selsey. So we had to pick one out of that 7. This week, I'm not being funny, but it's going to be a bloody tough ask who we're going to pick, because there aren't massive results that stand out. But we'll have a little deliberation tomorrow, me and Gaz, and if you're listening on the podcast, then it'll be out by now, along with the monthly poll as well, for you to choose your winner. But yeah, wish us luck. That'd be nice.
Nah, just keep sending them abuse. It's quite funny, me scrolling through it. They're watching it.
By the way, we don't appreciate people begging either. That's likely to drop you down the order rather than actually get you anywhere closer to winning it. So just...
Oh, I know you're having a dig at now.
Just wait. Well, they ain't the only ones.
My little friends alone.
They ain't the only ones that have been begging, trust me. So, and honestly, don't... that actually's got you less chance. I ignore that. I go elsewhere, because then I'll prove a point. Because it's my award. Right. Has anyone got any shout outs this week?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out. This week on Saturday is after the Haywards Heath Guernsey game. There is the fireworks from 6:30 at Haywards Heath. I believe it's like included in the in the match day. You know, I was about to say I could be doing them a big disservice there, but I will be there. I will be there to take the children to the fireworks. Then, and also obviously keep in your notebooks for a month's. Oh, we got some tickets coming up, haven't we, for the old mic thing?
Yes, we haven't quite sorted that out yet. So
okay, well we will be having a promotion give away some tickets for managers on the mic, which would be Mark White, Dom DePaola, and Craig the Pup. Stewart, being held at Wick. SNLF have purchased tickets for that. We weren't giving them. We purchased them. Okay, and we're going to give them away. We bought 4 tickets for that. And we're going to give away a couple of pairs, aren't we, Trev?
We are indeed. Once we decide how exactly we're going to do it.
Yeah,
so you may have to listen to the podcast to get a code word. Otherwise, you ain't going to get into the draw. Simple as that. That encourages people to listen to the podcast, you see, or watch us on a Wednesday evening.
True. You got that. But, yeah. And just keep your eyes out for the SSFL All-Star match on the 5th of December at Ringmer FC, in aid of Bluefin Ward, for the kids getting some Christmas presents for the ones that are in hospital.
Did you say Ringmer FC?
Yeah.
Oh, so they can host games again now?
By all accounts, they are going back home very soon. You know, it's well out of order what the FA always do to them. They always try and stitch Ringmer up. I feel sorry for them. Then again, how can you feel sorry for them? They got the facilities like that. Do you know what I mean?
I know, yeah. It's good that they can go back home, though. But it looks like they've had a good time at the Dripping Pan and certainly won one. So
living a Tommy had and Wonderland, haven't they?
Chris?
Shout outs. I'll tell you what. If anyone from Bexhill is going up to the Lingfield game on the weekend, I suggest the Radius Arms in Whiteleaf. Lovely little pub, bar. Very reasonably priced. The people are lovely. Just get involved.
And buy a programme so they can read my column, was what you wanted to say at the end of that, wasn't it?
How many are you in now, Trev? That's about 8. How many columns you got now?
Too many.
More than Admiral Nelson.
11, I think. Plus Westfield starts this weekend as well. So if you go to Westfield on Saturday against Balcombe, I'll be in that one as well. And I've got Pagham that I need to text Ryan about, and one other that might be having them as well. So yeah.
How do you find the time to do all these columns?
Because I've got such knowledge of football, I can just write a 500-word bang, or I did 1,000 for Martin for this weekend in the hop program.
Fair one.
Simple as that. So yeah, if you're at Lancing on Saturday for the hop, you find my stuff there. It'd be at Linkfield and it'd be at Westfield. I think that's it.
Is episode 2 of that Linkfield?
Oh, and Bognor. Sorry.
Episode 2 of that Linkfield doc out yet?
No, but I did watch episode 1 last week.
Did you? I loved it. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I thought the outgoing manager. I thought, the outgoing manager stabbed him one in there, didn't he? He wasn't happy, was he?
Yeah, I mean, thing is though, when you get new people come into a club, normally they want to do things their own way. They do get their own manager in. You know, you see it when clubs get taken over in the professional game as well. It's no different. And again, if you're not seeing a reaction out of what you want, or it's not going to go in the direction you want to, you're going to make a change. You know, simple as that. So it's just more interesting when you've got a fly on the wall documentary like that. You know, I mean, the thing is, they've pulled out a couple of decent results this season. You know, to come back against Shoreham the other week, they've beaten Guernsey at home. You know, they're yo-yoing a little bit between results, which probably frustrates Rich a bit more because the consistency isn't there. You know, the guy they brought in now, Liam Joyce, who's at Sevenoaks, you know, good grounding over there as well. Should be able to make a difference. But I think as well, until they get back home to Lingfield, I think I think it's January now when they're going to be back finally at Godstone Road. It's been the first time in about 2 or 3 years that they've played over there. You know, things might start to change. So in bed at 10, Lee Penn.
Yeah, Lee, get back to bed, lad. Get back to bed, lad.
It's all right. He's got 17 minutes. He's got 17 minutes.
You know
he's all right.
He's my boy, Penn. He is my boy. Yeah.
He's hanging on.
Don't take him out on a night out. Absolute most boring guy. He knows I love him, and we're down, but proper coffee instead of a whiskey guy.
Right, where are we heading to next week, Chris? Are you back at the Saffrons on Saturday?
Well, you'd think so, but I'm starting. Well, I'm not starting. I love town, but Trev piped down. I'm tempted by the hop, and I'm like, could I at least do Van Dinians and then go to the Saffrons? I'm like,
Yeah, potentially could do, couldn't you? 10:45, yeah.
Yeah, 10:45. Get on at Preston Park. Head home. It's doable. Yeah. So we shall see, but I'll likely be at the Saffrons at 3:00.
Okay. And Mike, you're doing Hayward Heath on Saturday. Anything?
I'm doing Hayward Heath, and yeah, because ironically they're playing Guernsey. You know, so but I've been invited down. It's the fireworks that drew me to there.
Of course it is.
See what you know.
Hey, it'll be a good game though. It'll be a really good game. So
will it? Because I now know firsthand that Guernsey definitely don't travel well away. And if you play Guernsey midweek, you are having one. You really are. You are having one. So there. But yeah, look, it should be a great game. Fully expect, you know, Kev's Army to march on. But
anyway, Tuesday? What I actually asked.
Oh, Tuesday?
Yeah.
No, well, hang on. Let me get Saturday out of the way. I'm going to probably jump on this Loxford game on Sunday. Go and see Mr. Lacey up there and annoy him. But because I was supposed to go up there a while ago, but I couldn't get up there. But Tuesday, look, listen, there's no way in hell that wife upstairs is going to let me do 3 in 3 days. You are having a bubble. I've just been away. You're joking.
I forgot to mention as well, Mike was actually chaperoned on Tuesday evening to Shoreham by the missus, just to make sure he didn't get into any trouble. He actually got home at a sensible hour.
It is the first game she's been with me at football for probably since I was coaching, since I was in the dugout. And
it was a Roffey charity game, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But then you were chaperoning that game with your lovely other half, weren't you?
Oh, I bought her, and the second time she's been to Roffey actually. So it's obviously a favourite ground.
Yeah. So look,
Mike,
there ain't no way I'm going out on a Tuesday.
Well,
anyway, I've got to go to the Middle East. Anyway, coming up, so I've got.
I was going to say, Mike,
I've got a real job to do.
It's not 3 games in 3 days, though. It'd be 3 games in 4. You'll be fine.
There we go. See, there's your little get out of jail card.
Probably watching it.
There's a stat for you.
Probably upstairs listening to it or watching it, going pointing at the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Prior. Right, Saturday I'm going to head to Shoreham first. As they
Oh, are you?
Yeah, and then trundle down the.
Oh, they're going to love you there, Trev, because you're always saying.
Absolutely. Well, prove me wrong. Show me you can.
Try the food, though. Try the food. The food's really nice.
Because I'm then trundling down the road to Lancing. I want my chicken curry, so I'm not going to be. How
many games are you doing on Saturday?
2. Yeah, Shoreham Pagham, and then down to Lancing, New Haven. Obviously, check out my work in the programme because it's that good. And obviously catch up with New Haven again after Tuesday. Then Sunday, Loxwood against Arundel and Godalming and Worthing United, doing both games on Sunday.
Are you doing any of them?
What?
Programs, I think you mean.
I'm doing both of them.
Oh, well, you're going to both of them as well?
Yes.
Oh, mate, you've done all right. You're doing all right, aren't you?
Well, because I'm away at the end of the month, I'm going to miss a Tuesday and a Saturday.
You're going to miss 3 of them. 3. Have you told your devoted listeners that you're not going to be here?
Yes.
Not yet. No.
That is it. They're not going to be happy, mate. And that'll probably be the end of the SNLF. That'll be the end of it, mate.
I mean, leaving it.
Because I'm going to be taking over.
Leaving it in your free hands for the next 2. Although Mr. Gaylor has said he's around if you want him for the weeks when Chris is away as well. So you've only got to ask, and he'll come on.
Just tell Ryan yes. And I've got some guests for each week that you're away.
Which will be Eva, and it'll be about 4 people. It'll be Billy Wood, it'll be Liam Giles, it'll be Paul Wise, or it'll be someone from Shoreham. So that, I'm afraid, chaps,
the first one
is your guest for the 3 weeks I'm not around.
Well, at least my guests will draw numbers. The first one will be Mr. Wood. He is definitely coming in.
But he doesn't manage anyone.
He's a controversial fella, and he will speak on anything. And whilst I'm driving the ship for that week, whilst I'm driving the ship for this week, when you're away,
I think if I'm Gaz is driving the ship, you're just the first mate as per usual. I can get above your station.
I'm the first mate, but I do that. You know what I mean?
Anyway, back to so both games on Sunday I'm doing, and then
4 games in 2 days.
4 games in 2 days, and then possibly Tuesday night I may do Broadbridge Heath against East Grinstead. But I might have a we're I'm not sure if we're lucky, Giles, that he made it back across the channel, but there we go. And I may do Broadbridge.
Flew back with him.
Huh?
I flew back with him.
Poor guys. Anyway, Tuesday night I may do Broadbridge Heath against East Grinstead unless something else pops out elsewhere across the whatchamacallit. So anyway, as Mike said, I'm around for another 2 weeks, and then I'm off for 3 weeks. I'm going to the Price of Football pod at the Amex, which is in aid of the Samaritans, obviously, who we've got our partnership with. And then I'm on holiday for 2 weeks. So unfortunately,
where you going, Trev?
I have no idea. No idea. It's the surprise for my birthday.
Oh, okay.
All I know is it's
Brighton.
No, all I know is it's abroad because I had to renew my passport because I didn't have enough time left on it.
Guernsey.
I can imagine she's booked Guernsey. I mean, Jesus Christ,
I'll tell you, if you have, mate, it's a fucking brilliant night out.
As long as it's somewhere that's got winter sun and a beach or a pool, all inclusive, I'm fine. I'm happy for a week.
It's a good night out in Guernsey unless you're with Lee Penn, is what you said.
That's my boy. That's my boy, Pen Dog. That's my boy.
Good job I'm not taking him anyway.
He had to look after me. He had to look after me. That's why I love him, my boy.
If you want to get in touch with us, you can drop us an email, trevor@thesnlf.co.uk, mike@thesnlf.co.uk, is it?
Yep, that's correct.
And gareth@thesnlf.co.uk. You can find us on Twitter at the SNLF, and
we have to get prior, haven't we? We have to get that man at the SNLF. We'll do that.
Trevor. Yeah, you'll have to. Yeah, you'll have to. And find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, thesnlf.co.uk. Chris, you on X are
@_Chris Pryor.
And Mike?
The SNLF DOD.
And at Mike McCaffrey UK. Yeah, that's been rather long, an hour and 50 minutes, but
and there's still 700 people watching now, mate.
Are they? Superb. Must be my rant earlier about bits and pieces about clubs and whatever.
Right. Are we going?
Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you if you've downloaded the podcast and listened to it in about 3 big elephant size bites, because it's an marathon to go through, but we do appreciate it, and we also do apologize that's so long for a podcast, but hey, gives you an excuse to sit down for 2 hours away from the missus and the family. So enjoy your football over the next 7 days. Enjoy the hop games you're going to, and honestly, I promise you the food that's on offer at those games will be superb. And you will enjoy it, and we'll see you again next Wednesday.
Take it easy, everyone.
Toodaloo.